James Callaghan 1976-1979. James Callaghan, born on March 27, 1912, was a prominent British politician who served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1976 to 1979. His political career spanned several decades, showcasing a remarkable journey within the Labour Party. Callaghan's rise to prominence began in local politics, serving as a councillor in the London borough of Southwark. His charisma and adept handling of various responsibilities led him to secure a parliamentary seat in 1945, representing Cardiff South. Callaghan's early ministerial roles included positions in Clement Attlee's post-war government, where he demonstrated a keen understanding of economic issues. His career reached new heights during Harold Wilson's premiership, where he held key cabinet positions such as Chancellor of the Exchequer and Home Secretary. By the time he assumed the role of Prime Minister in 1976, Callaghan had amassed a wealth of experience, making him a seasoned and respected figure within the Labour Party. As Callaghan assumed office in 1976, the United Kingdom found itself at a critical juncture, grappling with a myriad of political and economic challenges. The mid-1970s witnessed a global economic downturn, characterized by high inflation, rising unemployment, and increasing energy prices. The UK, in particular, was facing the consequences of the oil crisis of 1973, which had a profound impact on its economic stability. Domestically, the country was marked by social unrest and discontent. Labor relations were strained, and industrial disputes were on the rise. This period, famously known as the Winter of Discontent, saw widespread strikes and protests, significantly affecting public services and the overall functioning of the nation. Against this tumultuous backdrop, James Callaghan assumed the role of Prime Minister, tasked with navigating the country through these turbulent times. The political landscape was equally challenging, with the Labour Party itself experiencing internal divisions and ideological tensions. Callaghan faced the formidable task of unifying a party torn between different factions, each advocating for distinct policy directions. As he stepped into the leadership role, Callaghan had to address not only the external economic challenges but also manage internal discord within his own political camp. James Callaghan's ascendancy to the position of Prime Minister in 1976 marked a pivotal moment in British politics. He assumed office after the resignation of Harold Wilson, his predecessor and fellow Labour Party member. Callaghan's rise to power was characterized by a reputation for competence and steady leadership, attributes that were seen as crucial during a period of economic uncertainty and social unrest. Callaghan's political career had already been distinguished by his tenure in key ministerial positions, including Chancellor of the Exchequer and Home Secretary. His reputation for fiscal responsibility and effective governance positioned him as a capable leader. When Wilson stepped down, Callaghan was the natural choice to take over the reins of leadership. As Callaghan assumed the role of Prime Minister, he inherited a set of complex and pressing challenges from the previous Wilson administration. The economic landscape was marred by stagflation, a combination of high inflation and high unemployment, exacerbated by the global energy crisis. The Winter of Discontent had left a lasting impact on public services and created an atmosphere of dissatisfaction among the populace. Internally, the Labour Party was grappling with internal divisions, with factions advocating for different approaches to economic and social policy. The challenges were not only economic but also political and social, as the nation sought a leader capable of navigating through the difficult times and restoring stability. In response to the inherited challenges, Callaghan's early years in office were marked by a series of policy initiatives aimed at addressing the economic and social issues plaguing the nation. Understanding the need for economic reform, Callaghan pursued policies to curb inflation and stabilize the economy. However, these measures often faced resistance, both from within his own party and from external stakeholders. Key appointments within Callaghan's cabinet played a crucial role in shaping his government's direction. Notable figures such as Denis Healey, who continued as Chancellor of the Exchequer, and Michael Foot, who served as leader of the House of Commons, were instrumental in formulating and implementing policies. The composition of Callaghan's team reflected a balance between experience and fresh perspectives, as he sought to navigate the challenges with a diverse set of advisors. The early years of Callaghan's premiership were marked by a delicate balancing act, attempting to address economic issues while managing internal party conflicts. Despite facing numerous obstacles, Callaghan's leadership during this period set the stage for the subsequent political developments and shaped the trajectory of the Labour Party during a critical juncture in British history. As James Callaghan assumed the role of Prime Minister in 1976, the United Kingdom found itself entangled in a web of economic challenges. The term, "Winter of Discontent," encapsulated a period between late 1978 and early 1979 when the nation experienced a series of widespread industrial strikes, protests, and social unrest. At the heart of these issues were multifaceted economic challenges that had been building up for years. The UK was grappling with stagflation, a unique combination of high inflation and high unemployment, which presented a complex economic puzzle. The global oil crisis of 1973 had exacerbated these issues, leading to soaring energy prices and creating a ripple effect across various sectors. Additionally, the country faced challenges related to declining productivity, inefficient labor relations, and a growing sense of discontent among the working class. The economic turmoil in the UK during the late 1970s was not isolated. It was part of a broader global economic downturn. The oil crisis, triggered by geopolitical events in the Middle East, had far-reaching consequences on the world economy. The UK, being heavily reliant on oil imports, was particularly vulnerable to the resulting energy price shocks. This, coupled with global inflationary pressures, created a challenging economic environment that called for decisive and strategic leadership. The global economic downturn influenced trade dynamics, foreign exchange rates, and the overall competitiveness of British industries. These external factors further complicated the task of addressing domestic economic challenges. As the UK sought to navigate its way through the complexities of a global economic crisis, the winter of discontent unfolded as a manifestation of the deep-seated economic frustrations and social inequalities that had been brewing for years. In response to the mounting economic challenges, James Callaghan's government implemented various measures aimed at mitigating the impact of inflation and unemployment. Fiscal and monetary policies were deployed to curb inflation, with a focus on reducing public spending and implementing wage restraint. However, these policies were met with resistance from trade unions and various segments of the workforce, leading to strikes and industrial actions that paralyzed key sectors of the economy. The delicate balance between addressing inflation and maintaining social stability proved to be a significant challenge. Callaghan's government faced criticism for its handling of the crisis, with some arguing that the measures taken were too little, too late. The winter of discontent culminated in a series of high-profile strikes by public sector workers, further straining the social fabric of the nation. James Callaghan's tenure as Prime Minister was marked by significant internal divisions within the Labour Party. These divisions were not only ideological but also reflected deep-seated disagreements on how to address the pressing economic and social issues facing the country. The Labour Party, traditionally a coalition of various left-leaning factions, found itself grappling with competing visions for the future of British socialism. One prominent source of internal conflict was the ideological spectrum within the party, ranging from the more moderate and centrist members to the more left-wing and radical factions. These divisions were further exacerbated by differing views on economic policy, with some advocating for a more interventionist approach to address the economic challenges, while others supported market-oriented solutions. Within the Labour Party, tensions between different factions became more pronounced during Callaghan's premiership. The divisions were not merely theoretical but translated into policy disagreements and clashes over the direction of the party. The rise of the left-wing faction, often associated with figures like Tony Benn, posed a challenge to the more centrist and traditional elements within the party. Ideological clashes manifested in debates over issues such as nationalization, the role of trade unions, and the overall direction of economic policy. The left-leaning faction advocated for a more radical departure from traditional labor policies, calling for greater state intervention in the economy and a shift towards socialist principles. This clash of ideologies created a challenging environment for Callaghan, as he sought to maintain party unity while addressing the practical challenges facing the nation. The internal conflicts within the Labour Party had a profound impact on James Callaghan's ability to lead effectively. As Prime Minister, Callaghan faced the unenviable task of bridging the gap between the various factions within his party. The ideological clashes spilled over into policy implementation, with internal disagreements often hampering the government's ability to enact cohesive and decisive measures. The struggle for party unity and the constant jockeying for ideological dominance led to a sense of instability within the government. This internal strife also made it challenging for Callaghan to implement and sustain policies aimed at addressing the economic challenges and social unrest. The winter of discontent, marked by widespread strikes and protests, can be seen as a culmination of these internal conflicts, as the Labour Party struggled to present a united front against the backdrop of a nation in crisis. Ultimately, the internal struggles within the Labour Party contributed to a sense of leadership paralysis during Callaghan's premiership. The inability to reconcile ideological differences and present a unified front had repercussions not only for the party but also for the effectiveness of the government in addressing the urgent issues facing the United Kingdom during this tumultuous period. James Callaghan's approach to foreign affairs during his premiership was characterized by a pragmatism shaped by a deep understanding of global dynamics and the need for diplomatic finesse. Having a wealth of experience in various ministerial roles, including Foreign Secretary earlier in his career, Callaghan approached international relations with a nuanced understanding of the complexities involved. One hallmark of Callaghan's foreign policy approach was his commitment to maintaining strong ties with both Western allies and nations in the Eastern Bloc. This balanced diplomacy aimed to ensure the UK's relevance on the global stage and navigate the geopolitical challenges of the Cold War era. He continued the policy of détente pursued by his predecessors, seeking to ease tensions between the superpowers. Several key diplomatic events and international challenges marked Callaghan's premiership. One notable event was the signing of the Camp David Accords in 1978, which facilitated peace between Egypt and Israel under the mediation of U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Callaghan played a supportive role in these negotiations, showcasing the UK's commitment to promoting stability in the Middle East. The late 1970s also saw increased tensions between the Soviet Union and the West, with events like the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. Callaghan faced the challenge of responding to these geopolitical shifts while maintaining a delicate balance in his foreign policy. The situation in Iran, including the Iranian Revolution and the subsequent hostage crisis at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, further added to the complexities of global diplomacy during his tenure. Balancing global responsibilities with pressing domestic issues was a formidable challenge for Callaghan. The economic turmoil and social unrest at home demanded a significant portion of his attention and resources. However, as a leader of a major world power, Callaghan couldn't afford to neglect the UK's role on the international stage. The global economic downturn, coupled with geopolitical events, influenced the UK's economic and strategic interests. Navigating these challenges required diplomatic skill to foster cooperation with international partners while safeguarding national interests. Managing relationships within the European Economic Community, EEC, where the UK had joined in 1973, was a crucial aspect of this diplomatic balancing act. The Falklands War in 1982, although occurring after Callaghan's premiership, further emphasized the intricate nature of global responsibilities. The conflict underscored the importance of maintaining a credible defense posture and addressing international challenges that could impact the UK's security. Callaghan's key policy decisions during his premiership played a significant role in shaping the trajectory of the UK during a critical period. The economic challenges inherited from the previous administration prompted measures aimed at curbing inflation and stabilizing the economy. However, the effectiveness of these policies was debated, with some arguing that they fell short in addressing the root causes of the economic issues. The social contract, a series of agreements with trade unions aimed at wage restraint and industrial peace, was a central component of Callaghan's economic strategy. While it helped temporarily ease tensions, it faced challenges in implementation and sustainability. Critics argued that it did not go far enough in addressing structural economic problems. Callaghan's focus on diplomacy and maintaining international stability also left a lasting impact. His pragmatic approach to foreign affairs, including supporting the Camp David Accords and managing relations with the Soviet Union, contributed to the UK's role on the global stage. The long-term effects of Callaghan's policies are complex and multifaceted. Some measures, such as the pursuit of fiscal responsibility, laid the groundwork for later economic reforms. However, the challenges faced during his premiership, including the winter of discontent and economic struggles, left a legacy of economic difficulties that persisted into the early 1980s. James Callaghan's premiership, spanning the years 1976 to 1979, was marked by a confluence of challenges and achievements. As he assumed office, the United Kingdom faced severe economic difficulties, social unrest, and internal divisions within the Labour Party. Callaghan's leadership was tested by the complex interplay of these factors, and his response to the challenges of the time shaped the trajectory of the nation. The economic turmoil, often epitomized by the winter of discontent, presented a significant hurdle for Callaghan. Widespread strikes, high inflation, and unemployment created a turbulent environment that demanded decisive leadership. Despite his efforts to address these issues through economic policies and negotiation with trade unions, the social and economic challenges persisted, contributing to the Labour Party's electoral defeat in 1979. Achievements during Callaghan's premiership can be seen in his commitment to diplomacy and international stability. His pragmatic approach to foreign affairs, exemplified by the support for peace initiatives like the Camp David Accords, showcased a leader navigating global complexities with a measured hand. Additionally, his emphasis on dialogue with trade unions, reflected in the social contract, demonstrated an attempt to maintain social peace amidst economic challenges. The years of Callaghan's leadership hold broader implications for the political and economic landscape of the United Kingdom. The challenges faced during this period revealed the vulnerability of the UK to global economic pressures and the need for adaptable leadership in times of crisis. The internal divisions within the Labour Party highlighted the ideological struggles that would continue to shape the party's identity in the years to come. Callaghan's leadership during this critical period also set the stage for the subsequent political developments in the 1980s. The electoral defeat in 1979 paved the way for the Conservative government led by Margaret Thatcher, marking a significant shift in political ideologies and policies. The economic difficulties and social unrest during Callaghan's premiership contributed to a re-evaluation of the role of the state in the economy and the direction of British politics. James Callaghan's legacy and historical significance lie in his role as a transitional figure in British politics. His leadership during a tumultuous period bridged the gap between the post-war consensus era and the emergence of a new political landscape in the 1980s. The challenges faced during his tenure prompted a re-evaluation of economic and social policies, setting the stage for the neoliberal reforms that would characterize the following decades. While Callaghan's premiership is often associated with economic difficulties and internal party struggles, his legacy extends beyond the immediate challenges of his time. The changes in the Labour Party and the broader political landscape during and after his leadership laid the groundwork for the evolving political ideologies and policies that would shape the United Kingdom well into the 21st century. Callaghan's impact on the nation's political narrative underscores the interconnectedness of leadership, historical context, and the ongoing evolution of a country's political identity. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.